Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom, thank you for joining me. Today's episode, I'm going to look at the 3 different types of smear campaigns. Everyone thinks that they know what a smear campaign is. And sure, yep, we do understand it, I suppose, as a generic kind of concept. But did you know that narcissists not only run smear campaigns when you've left them, they run smear campaigns while you're still together. They run preemptive smear campaigns. So I've identified 3 different smear campaign cycles or types of smear campaign. I mean, there are different, look, just quickly, there are literally hundreds of different kind of stories and campaigns and smears that narcissists can use on you. And what I mean by that is, depending on who you are to them and what damage they want to do, you know, they can tell everyone that you're an alcoholic, that you're a thief, that you're a liar, that you have sex with random men. They can, you know, there's all different kind of smear campaigns. But I'm talking about the actual timing of different campaigns that they use and the different reasons why they use them. Let me explain further. So the first of the 3 is done when you're still in the relationship. Sorry, in the situationship. So this is done essentially to undermine you. It's to ensure that you have no real support and no friends around you. So they're setting up, it's like the preemptive strike. They're setting up the stage the way they want it to be set up. So they also want people to get used to hearing from him or her, but we'll just say him because I always do, that he wants people to get used to hearing his version of events as being the truth. So he'll talk about the relationship that he has with you. He'll drop little bits of information here or there. It's his way of starting to stage the narrative and to make out that he's a really good guy. And, you know, you're like, he loves you, but you're a little bit damaged. There's something a little bit wrong with you. But, you know, he's sticking it out with you because he loves you and because he's such a good guy. Right? And so he's telling these little stories to all the people around you. All, like I said, all slightly different versions of the same story, whatever the story is. But it's being put in place so that people get used to hearing from him about the, you know, what's going on in the relationship, so that when he changes his, you know, his relationship status, people will notice, they will pay attention, they will listen because they're used to listening to him talk about it. Whereas, you know, you're a private person. Most of us are pretty private. We don't go around talking about our relationship with people. We'd be quite surprised and often are shocked when we find out exactly what kind of information our so-called husbands and boyfriends have been spreading and sharing with total strangers or, you know, with our friends and loved ones. But, you know, they do it in such a way that it couldn't be seen as being anything but, you know, just talking, like they're just talking. There's no harm, no foul. Then the next level of smear campaign is when you guys have separated. So you're having a fight and you've separated, or, you know, it looks like you're going to break up. So it's the early days. Now, this type of smear campaign is done to manipulate you into coming back. Right? So what they do is they will reach out, for example, to your boss, your mum, your landlord, and act worried about your drinking problem or your kleptomania or your addiction to sleeping pills. And once again, as I said, they do this in a way, and it's solely to damage any attempt of yours to be independent, to get away from them. So that now they're just setting off these little time bombs that they set up in the first place. So the very same people that they said that, you were a little bit weird, or you did this or you did that, well, now they go back to those people and say, yep, we're having a break, but it's not going to be for long, but it's because of her drinking, her drugging, her whatever it is that he's lying about. So they do this because they're doing it to ensure that he looks like the wronged party, and yet so caring. I mean, what a man. Like, he still loves you, even though you're having relations with the milkman and the guy down the street. I mean, he still loves you. So, it looks like he's in the wrong. You've done the wrong thing by him. He's a victim, but he still loves you. He's sticking around. He's going to do his best to stick around. And so what happens is you start noticing that the people you're reaching out to for support during your early stages of the breakup, they're not as open and warm and welcoming as you were hoping. In fact, you're feeling like people don't even want to get involved. They don't want to hear about it. And little do you know, though, that, he's one step ahead of you, running around telling the very people that he knew that you would go to. He knew that you would go to these certain friends, certain family. He knows exactly what to say to them. The narcissists, I've got to give them this. They are really good at identifying who to say what to. They're good at that kind of, personality identification, who would care about what. So, further, here we go. So, during the manipulation smear campaign, he further divides you from your supporters while shoring up support from those very same supporters. So, for example, he'll go to one of your best, dearest friends and say, I know that you and Lizzie haven't been close ever since that incident at work, blah, 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 some lie. But I've always liked you. And I'm hoping that no matter what happens between Lizzie and I, that you and I can still be friends. So now your best friend is thinking, oh my God, what has Lizzie been saying about me to her husband? And I didn't realize that she didn't feel the same about me. So she's hiding stuff from me. And now she's thinking, he doesn't seem like such a bad guy. I don't know what Lizzie was saying about him. And this is the kind of manipulative crap that narcs pull. This is all smear campaign stuff. Sure, it's triangulation, all the rest of it, but it's all part of a bigger smear campaign. All right, and furthermore of this is what I call the veiled threat. So the narcissist, because they know all of your intimate and embarrassing, shameful secrets, they have the capacity to tell those secrets to the world. So all they need to do is threaten to tell the secret. So for example, you get a phone call from your dad or your uncle, and he says, John just called me and he wants to meet me in person. He says that he's got something private that he wants to talk to me about. Now, when you know what they're capable of doing, this kind of thing puts you in a state of shock, because now you're thinking, Jesus Christ, what is he going to say to my dad or my uncle? What has he got on me that he has to speak to my dad in person? As I said, these are veiled threats, and these are often done during the early stages of the breakup because, the threat is there. And essentially what the threat is it's saying, we can keep going down this route of this breakup, if you want, but let's be clear, it's going to be war and everything's coming out. Or I can be loyal to you, but we have to go back to the way it was. That's essentially what they're saying, right? The underlying subtext of this whole thing is, I can go back to playing nice as long as you can. Now, let's just say that doesn't work and you keep doing what you're doing, and that is getting the hell away from them. Well, now the smear campaign goes into what most people know as the smear campaign, and I call it the kind of destruction phase of the smear campaign, where now they're narc injured, they are enraged, and it's all about doing as much damage as possible. I mean, they want to see you powerless, essentially. They want to see you in a position where you've lost all your power and control. They have all the power and control, and you are literally begging for mercy from them. That is what they want in their little twisted mind. They want to see you exposed, ashamed. They want to see you broke. They want to see you suffering. They want to see you literally in the streets, poverty-stricken. They want to see you just down and out. And they want to see it so bad, just so that they can gloat and be seen as the triumphant one and the victor. And they also want to be able to give you the opportunity of begging, of needing their help so badly, because you don't have any friends because they've alienated them. You don't have any family support because your family's ashamed of you because of the lies that they've told them. I mean, this whole thing with the smear campaign, it's all about a much bigger picture, and that's about them maintaining control no matter where they are in the stages of the situationship. I'll have to do another video on the dealing with the smear campaign, because otherwise this will be too long a video. But I hope you've enjoyed listening to this kind of more in-depth look at the smear campaign, because often we hear smear campaigns just being talked about as though it's just a one-off thing that happens at the end of the relationship, and we don't realize that it's actually been going on from the very early days. Anyhow, my darlings, thank you for watching, and yep, get narc free and stay narc free. Bye.